Pig bitch gonna do pig bitch things. What up, my bad bovine? Or should I say, what up, my bad swine? Welcome to what I'm calling Boop the Snoot if you want to live. The people you saw in the first clip are a very good example of what can happen when you do and do not boop the snoot. Welcome, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this, shall we say, meaty video. Easy. If you can get a trap on someone's head before any generators are finished, fucking definitely do that shit. Good chance they'll finish that generator at a really inopportune time and screw over their friend. Moreover, if you can get a second hook on the person before the trap goes off, they're gonna die. You're guaranteed. There's no way. And if this feels like tunneling, it is, but in all fairness, she turned rabbit and she died because she turned rabbit. Stealth is really important sometimes, people. From this point on, we'll be calling this guy Spicy Steve. Because goddammit, he's a spicy boy. He may not be as good as he thinks he is, but he's still pretty good. Should I have kicked this pallet? And no, I should have just direct chased. He didn't even look back. Do I care? No. I want to see what happens next. I want to know what's going on. And what's going on is I know Claudette is running out of time. And I want her to die. Because if I can kill someone with 4 generators left, this game is over. And she definitely feels like it's over too. She just full tilt gives the fuck up. It's beautiful. Guess you're just ready to die. Better fucking D-strike, I guess. If you're not gonna struggle, I'm gonna kill you on a hook I don't need. Too late. You're already dying in the dungeon. Alright, up next we have round 2 with Spicy Steve. And it goes almost exactly the same as round 1. At this point, however, some of you may be wondering how come you are not taking advantage of Bamboozle. Well, I'm watching where they're running, you see, and I'm thinking, hey, where they're running, I don't really need to go through this window. You feel me? I think you feel me. Now, I hate to give Steve a hat he doesn't need, because he's got such beautiful hair. But, oops. Up next we have our chase with Nancy, who very literally mind games herself, just in the most beautiful of ways. She's like, I want to bump into you. I want to be with you. I want to get to know you. And I'm like, you know, I'm down for some girl-on-girl action, even if it's a little rough. And she's like, you know what? I'm down too. Let's make it double. And I'm like, all right. And she was like, put a hat on my head. I'm like, I don't really need to do that. But I'm like, I will anyway. So, should I have put a hat on Nancy? Probably not. With Nancy on the hook and Steve trapped, I basically can do no wrong. If I find Steve, it really sucks for Steve. If I find the person with no trap on their head, that really sucks for them too. Especially with sloppy boogers. Just go around doling out them sloopies. This person's like, hey, do you want to drop God pallet? I'm like, oh, please, fuck yes. I would love to get rid of one of the strongest pallets in the game when I have Bamboozle. That would just be extraordinary. And she's like, hey, would you like to mind game the fuck out of me at this pallet? And I'm like, oh, girl, you know I fucking would. Now, should I put a trap on this person's head? Absolutely, because that means there's 3 traps on everyone's head, and at that point, there's no fucking way that they're gonna do generators, and you can just patrol the machine boxes, whatever the fuck you want to call them, the Joker boxes. Did I mean to teabag that person? No, I was actually considering just slugging them and leaving them on the ground. Then I realized they were my last token on barbecue, and I, hooked their ass. So, we start to get into the area of the game where if these people had been looping this hard in the beginning of the game, they probably would have thunderfucked me and escaped. Like, it's so funny. It's like they kicked this whole fucking game into overdrive. Like, Steve got so much more value. I gave him a hat again immediately because I just like fucking with his hair. And then, like, dude, after this, there's no stopping him. There's no stopping him. Okay, I might be over exaggerating just a smidge. But seriously, they went from being full tilt potatoes to like actually being able to play and cohesively drag people. So I gotta give them props for, like, I don't know, fucking clearing their heads and making everything work. So let's count how many mind games happen in this one chase together. What do you say? I say that would be 1 for me catching the Fang Min out of the corner of my eye and switching targets. I would say that's probably 2 because Fang Min wasn't having fucking any of my shit double looping that pallet. Maybe 2.5. Maybe a half a point for both sides for some of that mid-game crouchy shit and her window shit. Now, though, now we're getting into the bamboozle. I would call this definitely 3 with her ability to fucking make that pallet snap on base. I would call this one here 4.5 because she jumps, but I don't get quite the value I want. I mean, it's hard to argue with the value. She really should have gone for the other window. So let's just call that 5. 5 mind games, give or take, between both me and the survivor. Feel free to argue my count in the comments. This, my friends, is why you could never, ever be afraid. Never be afraid of the D.
You're not gonna get these fucking shits from me, and I really don't care.
Oops. Sometimes people miss, and then they die. Ouchie McOofies. I gave them full chance to fuck my day up with that piece of glass. Mr. D strike. Deadass, I feel like these people, instead of fucking panicking like they were in the beginning, they were like, I gotta snap out of it. We gotta make this shit happen, or it's not happening at all. Unfortunately for them, these loops came after 2 people died. And at that point, my friends, it's basically ogre. I even mentioned it. Getting 3 generators worth of loop with only 1 guy to work on those generators. It is about this time that I'm like, hey Nancy, what are you doing? This is a fucking corner. You're probably gonna die here. And she's like, hey, don't you fucking worry about me. How about you worry about you? Cause all I need is time. That's what I need. And I'm like, oh shit. Good for you and your septic. I don't think Steve's got it in him. And for those of you who are like, that was an anti-hemorrhagic syringe, not a septic syringe. They are all called septic. So how about you sip on my dick?
Very well.
Okay? Perfect. It's mighty unfortunate that Nancy didn't have quite what it takes to extend the chase with the use of the septic, but I stopped playing like a fucking asshole pretty much the moment I know I'm gonna win. And so I just let people get the safe unhooks. Because that's what a good killer should do when he is completely in control of the match. And so begins our good old final chase with Spicy Steve. In this, we start to say, "Hey Steve, you bamboozled." You really gotta pull out the old window blocky, cocky, stocky when it's time, and not before that. Otherwise, they're gonna play around it when you need it most. So, you gotta mind game upon mind games. You wanna layer the mind games so that you catch good old Spicy Steve out in the open. Well, don't feel so bad, Steve. At least you get to die the way you lived, with a beautiful head of hair. And so begins the hardest part in the game by a long shot. Convincing the survivor you're not gonna kill them.
Away for a million years. Come on. No. Come. 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 Boop my snoot. Boop my snoot. Come. Boop my snoot. Boop my snoot. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Come, 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 come. Do the thing. Yes, yes, yes. She knows the secret password. Yes, yes, yes. Will she have enough time to crawl out? Come, come. Come, come, come. Come, come. Now you crawl out. Bye-bye. 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 Boop the snoot. Boopin da snootsens. Boopin snootsens. Boopin Jan snoots. Ja, da boopin Jan snoots.